Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm bringing you this makeup look right here per your request. You all really seemed to like this look that I was wearing during my last review, which was my Dior Forever Skin Correct review. And I also showed you all that look through my Insta stories on Instagram that's where I got a lot of comments. You all really seemed to like the way that the eyes looked, and I decided to recreate it for you all since I didn't film that look. Whenever I am going to sit down and review something, I just try to throw something on really quickly on my eyes, and I don't always film it. I don't really ever film it actually, because I never really know where I'm going with any particular look. It's just I grab a palette and I just see what pops out at me as far as the shades, and I just go with whatever I'm feeling for the day. That was that day. I really liked it as well, but I didn't take my time with it, so this I like a lot more. I like the way that this turned out a lot more than what I was wearing in that video, so I hope you all do as well. Thank you all so much for requesting it, and now let's get right into it. All right, so let's get started. For this look, I'm going to be using two different palettes. I'm going to be using the Tati Beauty palette and this little guy from Maybelline. This is their Soda Pop palette. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the Tati Beauty palette. I'm grabbing the matte shade from the Soothe column with my E40 tapered blending brush from Sigma Beauty. And I'm just going to be placing this here right along the crease, just running it back and forth. This will serve as my transition shade. And I want to build this up a little bit, quite a bit actually. So I'm going to keep going to make it a bit deeper. I'm bringing it all the way in to the inner corner of the eye. But the majority of the product is going to be right here along the outer V. All right, so next I'm grabbing the Soda Pop palette, and from this palette I'm taking Cola Float, which is this like orangey brown shade right here, and I'm grabbing it with my blending brush. This one is the E25 from Sigma Beauty. I'm gonna take this mirror once again. I love this mirror, it is huge. Anyway, I'm gonna be placing this along the entire crease area. And then I'm going to be blending it upward just a little bit. So I'm just placing it by patting it down first, and then blending it up in like small circular motions. So I'm just very light-handed when blending the outer part of this. You don't have to really blend too hard. These eyeshadows are actually really, really easy to blend. So you don't actually even have to spend much time on them. See that? All right, so next with the same brush, I'm grabbing Blue Raspberry, and I'm gonna pack this on to the entire mobile lid area. And I'm gonna take this all the way up to my crease. Once it's to where I want it to be, that's when I will, without adding any additional products, so just whatever's on my brush, that's when I'll go in and just lightly blend around the edges. Then I'm going to take a little bit more of the matte shade from the Soothe column with this brush. I'm going to use this to help me blend out in between in the crease. All right, next I'm going to grab a little bit of concealer. This is my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Medium Honey. Just taking some of that on the back of my hand. And I'm gonna grab that with my cream color E58 side of this brush from Sigma Beauty. And I'm gonna place it here along the center of my lid. Just place a little bit of that there. Then I'm gonna open my eyes, look up, and that's where it should end right there. So taking it all the way, taking this concealer all the way up to that point, and then blending out the sides. So it looks like we've covered pretty much everything, but don't worry, I'm gonna bring it back. All right, so next from the memory column, I'm grabbing the metallic shade. I'm gonna grab that with my finger, and I'm gonna place that right over the concealer. All right, so now that that's down, from the Aura column, I'm gonna take the metallic from that column and place this on top of this metallic from the memory column. And it's gonna create this really beautiful like gunmetal blue. All right, so I'm going back into the Soda Pop palette, grabbing a little bit more of that blue raspberry with the same brush that we used initially to apply it. And I'm gonna place that here along the outer corners. I'm gonna take that above, just taking it around and just blending the outer edges of where I placed the metallic shades. Grabbing a little bit more of the blue raspberry shade and blending this inner corner as well. So kind of like a halo look. Just blending in between, make sure that it doesn't look like this. You see how you see that line? We don't want that. We want it to look all blended and as one. All right, so now that that is nice and blended out, I'm gonna go back to the Tati palette. I'm grabbing the Memory Matte shade with my small angle brush. This one is the E65 from Sigma Beauty. Just taking some of that, and I'm going to pat this as close to the lash line as possible, just to thicken that up without adding eyeliner. All right, next I'm gonna tightline with my gel liner and a winged liner brush. This one's the E06 from Sigma Beauty. Taking a little bit of my gel liner. I'm just gonna pat this right underneath the lash line. All right, next for lashes, my Bad Gal Bang mascara from Benefit. I'm in love with this mascara. All right, so now it is time to work on the face. I'm gonna start with a color corrector. I'm gonna be using my Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector in the shade Medium to Deep. You know this, you guys already know this. I'm just gonna place a little bit of that underneath the eyes before moving on to foundation. All right, after color correcting, it is time for foundation, but before I apply foundation, I'm gonna apply a little bit of my Shape Tape Glow Wand. This one is in the shade, what is it, Dream. I usually apply it all over the face, but sometimes I just do one swipe here and one swipe here, just so that this, like the sides of my face look really luminous without my entire face looking really luminous. Next comes foundation. I have been really digging this foundation a lot lately, the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation. So this is a matte foundation, but the Glow Wand helps give it the appearance of a luminous foundation without it feeling like a luminous foundation. All right, so just applying the foundation with my airbrush foundation brush. This one's the Luxie 732, and I'm currently using the shade 240 in the Fenty foundation. All right, next for concealer, my Pat McGrath. That's right, this is in the shade LM11. I love this concealer. I don't think, and like now my standards are so high because of this concealer. I just love everything about this concealer. It is very, very full coverage. You don't need a lot of product. Everything looks nice and light and natural. It's such a good concealer. And I'm blending it out using my Deluxe Crease Brush from Real Techniques, which is my absolute most favorite way to blend out my concealers now. All right, next, in order to set the under eye area, I'm taking my tapered highlighter brush from Sigma Beauty. This one's the F35, and my Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. This one is in the shade Medium. Looks like that has been my favorite setting powder of all time. Just taking a little bit of that with this brush and pressing it underneath the eyes in order to set this concealer in place. All right, so now we're gonna go back to the eyes. I'm gonna take my pencil brush. This one's the E30 from Sigma, and I'm gonna grab Blue Raspberry with that. Just a little bit of that. And I'm gonna pat this along the lower lash line. I'm not going all the way to the inner corner. I'm stopping right before that. And then I'm gonna grab Cola Float with the same brush and place this right on top of the blue. All right, and last but not least, I'm going back into the Tati Beauty palette, grabbing Soothe, the matte shade from the Soothe column. And I'm gonna use this shade in order to blend and diffuse the lower lash line. So just running this eyeshadow shade back and forth along the edge. Very gently though. All right, and then you know what? I'm gonna grab tonic with my blending brush, but I haven't added any additional products, so just whatever was on this from before is totally fine. I'm gonna drag this along my brow bone right here, just to highlight it. Oh yeah. All right, and finishing the eyes with a little bit of mascara along the lower lash line. All right, and to bronze up the face, I'm gonna take my Hoola bronzer from Benefit, grabbing this with the Hoola bronzer brush, I believe it's what it's called. Taking some of this and just dragging it here along the hollow. I got mascara underneath my eye. Oh my gosh, okay. Just gotta wait for it to dry. Just noticed it. All right, next for highlighter, I'm gonna grab my Dandelion Twinkle highlighter from Benefit. Just taking that with my tapered highlighter brush from Sigma, grabbing a little bit of this, applying it here to the high points of the cheek area. All right, and last but not least, the lips. Now, this combination I'm a little upset about because they no longer, I just looked it up on Sephora today because I wanted to buy like 3 more, but they no longer sell this. This is from Bite Beauty. It is their cream lip gloss in the shade Champagne Pearl. I really love the way that this looks on the lips, but I can't find it, so I think they are discontinuing it. That's my only guess. So I'm sorry that I'm gonna be using it in this video, but I have it, I love it. I like the way that it looks with this eye look. So before I do that, I'm gonna line my lips with my ColourPop Lippy pencil. This one is in the shade, what is this, Little One. All right, so now that the lip pencil is on, it is time for lip gloss. And you see that? It's such a beautiful shade, but I can't seem to find it. So that completes today's video. Thank you all so much for requesting this look. I really, really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on future videos. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram, where I absolutely love to interact with you all. As always, take care, and I will see you all in my next video. Mwah! Bye.